Hey, welcome to the Dropship Podcast. Today, we're going to give you 5 product page optimization tips that we use in our high-ticket dropshipping businesses and that we recommend you using in your business.
Yeah. So, Shopify out of the gate, you're going to have a nice theme if you're using the Superstore theme, particularly dropshipbreakthru.com/superstore if you want to grab that. It sets you up with a pretty nice product page, but with any theme on Shopify or any other website platform, there are a few little things you can do to help you sell more products and to make the experience on your product page more helpful and better for your customers. And so that's what we're talking about today. And right off the bat, Ben, one of your favorites, I think you've done this more than me, but I like it, is the blurb at the top or towards the top of the product page. What exactly does that mean, and how do people do it?
Yeah, we mentioned this on a previous episode of like how to optimize your website, or like the 5 things you can do to have what do we say, kick-ass? I know you love that word, John, so we probably said kick-ass back then. There's a few things that you can do to help the lazy visitor. Most people they don't want to spend time on your site, right? And so you can see if you add clarity.microsoft.com, add that pixel to your website. You can watch everyone on your website. Wild. If you've never started before and I just blew your mind, the internet's wild. We can watch everything you do. Yay. You'll see that people don't scroll past the fold, which is sad. Like they just land on a page and then they're gone. And you're like, what? Why did you click my ad? If you came here and saw a picture of the product and then you just left, because the price is on the edge. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand why people do it, but this blurb helps with that fact that people aren't going very far. So if you can give them a bite-sized comment or something that intrigues them to get them to keep going down the page, that's what I like to stick in the blurb. I like to do a little bit of quick hits personally and just give you here's the 3 to 5 things that if that's all you learned about this product, you can make a buying decision right now. That's what I like to stick in that blurb at the top.
Yeah. Personally, for me, it's the thing I would focus on most people at that point is what is the number one thing about this product that what is the number one problem it solves and what is the outcome of that? So I always when I've got to hook somebody in, and this would be in your product description as well. If you're copywriting out your product description, I like to lead with what is the big problem this solves. And if it can be in a way that nothing else does, then even better, because that's why is somebody on your product page. They have a problem that they want solved. It's not to buy the product, they're buying the outcome. So if you can paint a really quick picture of the outcome that product provides, then that's easier to hook them in to say, oh, okay, that sounds juicy. Can I, so if I'm selling a robotic lawnmower, for me, it might be never mow your lawn again, right? And then something, right? If I read that, I'm like, yeah, cool. I don't want to mow my lawn again. And I'm going to read the rest of the page now. So that's how I like to come at those little bits.
I like to put someone in the situation, right? Just like you said, if you're selling an outdoor fire pit that can be lit in one switch, you'd be like Starry Night, or one flick of the switch and you're in your Adirondack chair underneath the starry skies, drinking a cold drink. This fire pit's for you or something. You know what I mean? It's very simple to give someone fuel for their imagination, to give them a feeling, which is what people buy on emotion, right? And so give them the feeling they're trying to experience with their product. So next up, we mentioned before as well, is great headlines. To the point of no one scrolling. If they do scroll, they're zipping through your headlines. And if you can tell a story with your headlines, that might be all the time you get to convince somebody to stay on your page or to purchase the product. So you need to have fantastic headlines that are hopefully SEO optimized as well. John and I love some SEO. And so tell a story with your headlines. Don't just put product name overview, product name manual, product, some of those, you might need to put a manual at the bottom. But if you can tell a story with those keywords involved so that people are understanding what each section of your description is about, I would recommend that a whole bunch. John, what else you got?
Yeah, so next one up here is, we like to make sure the customer on the product page can understand in a really simple way. We've talked about in a previous episode about making things as easy to understand on your website as possible. This is really important because people's attention span is quick. They're going for the quick hits these days. So when they see a piece of information, it needs to be really succinct, short sentences, easy to understand. And what I'm talking about here is being able to understand your shipping and returns policies on your product page, not having to navigate off your product page to find these things.
Hey, obviously you're interested in high-ticket dropshipping, wondering what you're going to sell. That's usually what people think about long before they ever purchase a course or even get started. John and I want to help you with that. We're running a 5-day challenge. Check it out at dropshipbreakthru.com/5. 5 days, you'll figure out exactly what you're going to sell, and you'll be ready to start your high-ticket dropshipping journey when you're done.
Previous episode I mentioned, the more clicks you put in somebody's way before they're going to get to the point of checkout, the less likely it is they're going to check out. So if somebody's on your product page and they're like, okay, when's this going to ship? How much is it going to cost? What if it doesn't work out? Can I return it? If your expectation is that they're going to go down to the footer of your page to find your shipping and returns policy and then click to read that page and then click back to the product page to buy the thing, no way. Once again, clarity.fm, you will notice probably about 10% of your visitors even look at your footer. It's that small. So you need to have fairly high up in really little short sentences sprinkled around, this product ships in 1 to 5 days. This product costs $100 to ship. This product has free shipping. We have a 30-day returns policy. People need to be able to see that. Ideally above the fold, if possible, on a desktop. It's not going to be above the fold on mobile, usually, but it needs to be very high up the page before most people drop off your page. And that's going to give customers the confidence that there's not going to be any hidden surprises, right? Because one of the number one reasons people abandon checkouts is that there is a hidden thing that they discover when they either get to their cart page or the checkout page. And so if you put it on the product page, you avoid that happening. Yes, you might turn some customers off, but that's fine.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of free shipping, easy returns. Your product will ship in X days, right? And try to match that up with your supplier. One other thing I'm a big fan of is putting pictures in your description. So you can simply use the pictures that you have up in your carousel to sprinkle them out throughout your description to give some life to that big wall of text that people are going to scroll. So not only write these great headlines, but find some pictures, find some images that support what you're trying to do and the story you're trying to tell with these headlines. Because again, people aren't going to read that big wall of text like you want them to. They're going to read the headline, and if they have an image to scroll by, they're probably going to enjoy looking at that image, understanding the story you're trying to paint. The other one I would say is number 5 is like unique content. So can you make those images unique? Can you get UGC, user-generated content? Can you get your customers to send you video, to send you images of the products actually in use? John, what are some other ways that you've been able to get unique content for your website, whether you're just starting or whether you're further down the road?
Yeah, so I mean, I think this does get easier the further down the road you are. In the beginning, you might not have as much of this, either due to time or just due to not having any customers yet. So certainly, once you start having people buying your products, like being very proactive, which we take you through some strategies to do this in Dropship Breakthru, to follow them up and encourage that user-generated content. So whether that's still images of customers using your product, whether it's video reviews from your customers, and like I actually pay people to do those. They're so valuable, right? Give them some benefit in return for doing that, because that's a big one. You can put those on your product page, right? But even just, if you've got a supplier who you've been working with for a little while, ask them if you can go down to their warehouse and take some photos of their products. Get yourself some unique images of the products that nobody else has, which you can, because once again, those are going to show in your ads as well. It's going to make your ads look a bit different. If you can get hold of some sort of lifestyle type images of your products in use, that other people don't have, once again, any way that you can do that is going to give your product page a bit more of a unique feel to your customer, which once again increases, your conversion rate. So those are some things, but even just the old chestnut of write a unique product description, right? That is still a big one. It's not as sexy maybe as some of the UGC stuff, but having a great product description that once again does what we mentioned previously about painting the picture for the customer, letting them visualize using the product and the outcome that they're going to experience and feeling those emotions, right? That if are triggered will increase the chance of conversion. That's still, for me, that's one of my favorite things to do on a product page.
The other thing I would say is go to trade shows. Like if your suppliers are at trade shows, number one, you're going to be able to speak to them in person. and you'll build a better relationship, which will get you better margins. I can promise you that. But you'll also get unique content for your website, and you'll probably meet some new manufacturers that you've been trying to reach out to and haven't contacted, or some that have told you no, or new kids on the block. And you can go there and really build some real relationships. So if you see a trade show in your industry, you better get your butt there.